think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Money Level Show, where we think, act, and prosper. It's your host, Daryl, and we talk all things macro and how the macro environment affects our investments, affects our money, and affects us, the people. So let's go ahead and jump into this new topic today. We're going to talk about the student loan forgiveness, and this is another form of stimulus. So we know that there has been a lot of gridlock at the Senate, where a lot of bills have not been able to get passed. President Joe Biden came out with some very ambitious goals financially, especially for stimulating the economy and things of that nature. And he has received a lot of gridlock at the Senate. So one thing that has been talked about a lot is that President Biden does not need the Senate to forgive student loans or to postpone student loan payments. So we saw recently that Joe Biden came out and said that he was going to halt student loan payments until August 31st of 2022. And we know that people were very excited about that, especially people that have a lot of student loan debt. I am one of those people as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and provide some of my perspective on this. And some of my perspective is that this is a way to provide stimulus to the people of America. It is also a way to buy the votes of people, because we know that the midterms are coming up, the elections for the House and the Senate and such. And we know that this is going to buy people's votes. People are going to look at Joe Biden as the savior and things of that nature, because he is forgiving student loans and he's also postponing payments. So there's a lot of talk about this that is happening right now. So first thing we're going to get into, we're just going to look at just, did he actually promise this? We know that Joe Biden came out in his campaign and said that he would forgive student loans. However, you do have some articles out here, like Forbes, for example, that says, no, Biden didn't promise to cancel your student loans. And this could be clickbait or whatnot. And we know that there is biased media out here. There's media that serves the Democratic Party. There's media that serves the Republican Party. And so we're not even going to trust that article. We're going to go ahead and actually look. And I found this resource called Ballotpedia, and just kind of researching what they're about or whatnot is actually pretty interesting. And I wonder if they're going to be a reliable source going forward. So it says Ballotpedia is the digital encyclopedia of American politics and elections. Our goal is to inform people about politics by providing accurate and objective information about politics at all levels of government. We are firmly committed to neutrality. Did I say that right? Neutrality in our content. So they're saying that they are a nonprofit and that they actually, are neutral in their opinion. And so whenever you research, did Joe Biden, promise student loan forgiveness in his campaign, and you see articles such as, no, Biden did not promise that, and you get these fact checkers and all of that, like, it's good to have a neutral source and a non-biased source to be able to find your information. And because sometimes you have to go and look through all these different articles and see both sides and kind of come up with what's in the middle, what's the middle ground and what is probably the truth. So it says Ballotpedia connects people with politics by changing the way they access the information they need to be informed about federal, state, local, and territorial politics. Our content includes neutral, accurate, and verifiable information on government officials and offices they hold, political issues and public policy, elections, candidates, and the influencers of politics. So it's saying that it's a neutral source and that they try not to take a side in all of this. So now looking at just if he actually promised student loan payments, you go to the Democratic candidates, you look up Joe Biden. It says Joe Biden wrote in a Medium post, I propose to forgive all undergraduate tuition related federal student loan debt from 2 to 4 year public colleges and universities for debt holders earning up to $125,000 with appropriate phase outs to avoid a cliff. The federal government would pay the monthly payment in lieu of the borrower until the forgivable portion of the loan was paid off. This benefit would also apply to individuals holding federal student loan for tuition from private HBCUs and MCIs. And so HBCUs are historic Black colleges, and this is a way of him being able to try to get the Black vote. We saw that happening, and that happens all the time when Democrats come out. So it says he listed the following additional proposals: immediately cancel a minimum of $10,000 of student debt per person as proposed by Senator Warren in the midst of the coronavirus crisis. Those earning less than $25,000 per year will not have to make monthly payments and will accrue no interest. Those earning more than $25,000 per year will pay no more than 5% of discretionary income towards payments. After 20 years, the remainder of federal student loans will be forgiven without any tax burden. So they're saying that. Then you go to Joe Biden's website. So this is joebiden.com. This was his agenda for students. And when you read this, it talks about education, training beyond high school and such. So when you read what he talks about in here in his campaign, he says more than half payments on undergraduate federal student loans. So individuals will pay 5% of their discretionary income, and then it would be forgiven after 20 years. And then he also says make loan forgiveness work for public servants by creating a new simple program that offers $10,000 of undergraduate or graduate student debt relief for every year of national or community service up to 5 years, and by fixing the existing public service loan forgiveness program. So he did promise this, and so I don't know what Forbes is talking about, but we're going to go ahead and jump into what is new with this. So Yahoo just reported recently that student loan forgiveness, new research bolsters $10,000 broad cancellation argument. It says student loan forgiveness tied to income requirements would help the largest number of debtors. New research from the New York Fed finds. The Fed researchers, using data from the New York Fed Equifax Consumer Credit Panel, estimated the cost of two federal loan forgiveness proposals, one for $10,000 and another for $50,000. So they were talking about canceling $50,000. This is how they buy our votes. They found that limited forgiveness and placing income caps on who would be eligible would distribute a larger share of benefits to low-income borrowers while also reducing the cost of forgiveness overall. In general, we find that smaller student loan forgiveness policies distribute a large share of benefits to lower credit score borrowers and to those that live in less wealthy and majority minority neighborhoods, the researchers wrote in a blog. Increasing the forgiveness amount they added increases the share of total forgiven debt for higher credit score borrowers and those living in richer neighborhoods with a majority of white residents. So they're saying they're doing this research on, what happens if they forgive this debt or whatnot. And we know that with the Senate being in gridlock, a lot of these Build Back Better plans and all of these, social plans that the Democrats have brought to the table are at heavy gridlock. And so we can see that this is a way that they can work around that to be able to get votes for the midterms coming up and for them to be able to give some form of stimulus to the people. So I believe that going forward after August 31st, they're going to extend the deadline again. And this is going to be a hot topic coming up, because if they are not able to come up with any agreement whatsoever on the stimulus or on any of these plans that they have, then I believe that they're going to use this to be able to get people to vote for them. That's just how I see it. Now, the cost of it is going to be a lot. It says if they write off $50,000, that it will cost $904 billion and erase the full balances of 79% of borrowers, with average forgiveness per borrower of $23,856. A $10,000 write-off would cost an estimated $321 billion, raising the full balance of 31.3 borrowers, with the average borrower would see $8,000 in forgiveness. And so in this chart, it shows just the amount of student loan debt that has just been climbing. And it talks about since 2007, how it is at close to 1.75 trillion. And so we know that this is an issue that continues to happen. I mean, obviously, I believe that colleges aren't offering a lot of programs that really just benefit the people in their pockets. We see that the wage gap between the rich and the poor since the 70s, since the dollar has been off the gold standard, has just been crazy. It's crazy how that gap has increased over that time. And a lot of these programs that people are going to school for aren't actually producing a lot of things. A lot of them are for social work and such. And me, myself, I am in the social work field. I was a juvenile probation officer for a while, and then now I am a Indian child welfare employee. So that is the social work field, and it does help people. It does do a lot of good work for people, especially since the development of a lot of research, has come out, and people are able to see that kids have a lot of needs, because I work specifically with youth. And and this is an issue. I mean, people in my line of work do not get paid enough to pay their student loans, and they are doing a good service for the community. However, we need more jobs in the labor field. We need more jobs in the trade field. We know that trade schools are, struggling right now because a lot of people aren't going there because they push college so much to the average person. I remember growing up, my moms were just like, I want you to go to college, go to college, go to college, and she didn't really know, I could go to trade school and make $100,000 a year, easy. So those are some of the issues that we're facing. Drop your comment down below. What do you think about this? Do you think this is trying to buy the votes of the people? Do you think it's good for the people? Obviously, we see the government debt at an all-time high. Can we afford this? That's another thing. Can we afford this? However, Joe Biden has the authority to do that. And do you think he will forgive student loans in order to buy the votes of the people? So I want to thank you all for joining the Money Level Show. Hit the like, the subscribe, and y'all stay tuned for the next video. Peace.